When I first started out as a beginner on Freeskates, this is how I learned to get going every single time. Pushing off with my back toe just like in the beginner tutorials. But eventually as I progressed, I learned that there is a much better, much more efficient, much quicker way to get going on Freeskates, which is the Stomp. Now you may have already tried the Stomp and found that it is hard to get the timing down and not very reliable, but today I'll be telling you 9 mistakes you're probably making with your Stomps, and by the end of this video, I think you're going to be able to get them down consistently. Mistake number 9 is not practicing your Stomps stationary. So this can go for pretty much any trick, but it especially applies to the Stomp. You can't expect to do your Stomps well if you don't have the motion down while you're stationary. So what I would recommend is just ditch one of your skates, grab one of them, and just practice throwing it under your foot again and again and try and work on the timing. Now, when I used to practice this trick as a beginner, I remember I constantly had an issue where my foot would hit the skate when I try and step on it, and that is because I was making mistake number 8, which is using the wrong hand. Now, this might be a bit controversial, but I personally believe that it is best to use the opposite hand to the foot that you are stomping with. And the reason for that is it allows your foot to get completely out of the way of your skate as it falls down to the ground. When you use the same skate as the same foot, you run into a pretty good chance where your skate hits your foot on the way down unless you really reach and throw it a certain way. So I think that it really works best to use the opposite hand and then step over the skate on its way down. Mistake number 7 is not envisioning where the skate will land. Now, this might sound obvious, but you want your foot to land on your skate. So I think it's going to help you to, when you drop the skate, envision exactly where that's going to be on the ground and place your foot there. I think because this trick seems like it's so simple, people think they can just stomp the skate and land it somehow, but it helps to be intentional with where you're placing your foot so that you can be successful as many times as possible. In order to help with this, I would recommend you stop making mistake number 6, which is this: letting gravity take its effect and just letting the skate fall and hit the ground without any sort of time in the air. And the way you counteract this is by giving it a little lift or a throw. The timing of this trick is going to be huge in getting it consistent, and giving it just that little lift is going to help you land it a lot more consistently. This might introduce a problem though, where when you lift the skate, it suddenly falls at an angle or doesn't fall flat, which is the 5th mistake. You're not dropping your skate flat. And for this, I would recommend not even trying to stomp the skate. Just take it, drop it, and see if you can make it land on the wheels completely flat to the ground every single time. Learning to drop the skate flat will just allow you to land this a whole lot more consistently. If the skate doesn't fall flat on the ground, you're simply not going to land this trick, so you'll want to get good at that before you practice this any further. While it helps to give the skate more time in the air, I think there is such thing as giving it too much time in the air in the form of dropping it too high. Dropping the skate too high makes it a lot more likely that something will go wrong in this trick. Particularly, it'll make the skate harder to land flat. So when you drop it super high, there's a lot more of a chance where it's going to land at any given angle and not flat. Mistake number 3 is the opposite. It's dropping it too low. Now, this is a mistake for the opposite reason as before. You're not giving the skate enough time in the air to really understand what's going on. Now, if your foot is already about to connect with the skate when it's right next to the ground, that's another thing. It's a cool way to practice this trick. But in general, you want a solid amount of time in the air so that your brain can process when to connect your foot with the skate. And to get that timing down consistently, I think it's very important not to make this next super common mistake, which is not lifting your foot first. Whenever I see beginners practicing this trick, I always see them drop the skate and then try and stomp on it. Drop the skate and then try and stomp on it. The problem with this is the skate hits the ground before you even have a chance to stomp it. The solution to this is lifting up your foot and then dropping the skate. That way, the two can come down as one. The next mistake is what prevents all of these tips from coming together and landing a successful stomp to get you going, and that is not pushing off into the stomp. Pushing off into the stomp is important because it gives you the momentum that you need to not fall off your skates when you do land the stomp. Think of it like this: if you're riding a bicycle and you don't have any motion, you're going to topple side to side. Just like if you land your stomp and you don't have any motion on your free skates, you're gonna fall off your free skates. So push off first and then let your skate and your foot come down as one. This is entirely possible to do without learning to one foot, but I do think learning to one foot helps wonders with this. So definitely check out this video of why you can't one foot yet. I think it's gonna help you a lot. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions and roll with us.